How's it going, everyone? This is Dr. Hefe playing some more Disco Elysium, the final cut, and we are investigating the murder. We have found the deserter. I think he told us his name at some point, but he's still just presented as the deserter. And we're getting to the end of the murder investigation. He's pretty much admitted, well, he hasn't admitted it yet, but he's an old communist holdover, a political commissar. We found the site of the shooting. We found the murder weapon, or at least what we believe the murder weapon is. Now we just need the confession. I have another serious question for you.
There's nothing serious in this world. It's a farce.
I guess let's do the composure?
What strikes you about this gaunt man is not the stomach pain, or the cough, or the malnutrition. For a man who's spent 44 years hidden in the urban wild.
He is surprisingly okay.
Indeed. He speaks fluidly. His movements are rapid, if erratic. His voice, despite the cough, is there. It is capable of expressing complicated ideas. Above all, he seems animated.
By what?
It's a mystery. This animation comes at a cost too. Erratic hand gestures, thought processes cut off like threads, as he just stares at the logs or the reeds. He also suffers mood swings, bubbling to the surface, unconstrained by his nervous system. And also flashes of lust, simmering in there. Not too common in people his age.
The lust with his glands. That is an interesting one. I mean, I don't think they would have stopped by now, but probably decreased in their output of hormones.
There is definitely something hormonal there. Whatever the condition he's suffering, there is a sexual element to it.
Alright, electrochemistry, thanks for the insight. Dementia?
You've seen demented people before. This feels similar, yet different. When his thoughts move, they are lucid, keen even. Not senile. Is it some kind of substance damage? Like he's addicted to something? Not only the painkillers he's clearly on.
I wonder. Pure Holodon? Maybe he got hit by some radiation from the nuclear meltdown? Mr. Dros, are you on some kind of psychoactive substance?
No. I won't be stuffed full of shit like the rest of this city.
You said you take painkillers.
I take them to cope with pain. The people of this city use painkillers because they have pain. Untreated illnesses. Not enough money for a greedy doctor.
It's not a downer, rather an upper, judging by his snaps.
Oh. What about amphetamines?
Like some kind of decadent rock star.
And Pure Holodon?
I don't know what that is.
Oh. He's probably on something, though. How's your memory, Mr. Dros?
No, I'm not okay. I shit blood, and I'm surrounded by insane people.
Oh, okay.
There it is again. Erratic hand motions, bouts of rage, and the stomach thing too, of course. Could it be a symptom of overdosing on something? Something even you have not tried? Keep your eyes peeled.
Yeah, let's look for some drug from 07, 08. And my goodness, I'm not sure if I like the outcomes. This does not look like a party drug, whatever this guy's been living on. So, what have you been using this gun for?
I've used it for killing people.
Sounds like a confession to me.
Here we go. A trail of blood. The lieutenant smells it too.
Is he gonna bust out his notebook?
Killing people?
It's a gun. That's what they're for. You want a moralist euphemism? Defending your family and your property. I haven't done that. I've used it to kill people.
Interesting. During or after the war?
There is no after the war. Class war is never over.
Damn, that is a strong, hardline position.
This is it. You can feel it, like battery acid on the tip of your tongue. Something you haven't felt in a while. But
what?
this is what you live for. This is the shit.
Damn. We are the frickin' peone of La Puta Madre. We're the can opener. Time to get the info out of Mr. Dros.
The great serotonin jackpot.
Mm-hmm.
Go in straight. No euphemisms. He doesn't like those. No. Be careful now. Slow and steady does it. Make him repeat it first. Don't mess this up. Remember, he wants to tell you. Get personal.
Wait, so which one do I say then?
Nothing comes to you. Silence. His black eyes look at you, and in them a chill like electricity running up your spine, crawling into your skull.
What?
All is not as it seems.
Ooh, the shivers. All is not as it seems. That is true. That's what we've been dealing ever since we first woke up 7 days ago.
Detective.
With well-disguised impatience. So you're saying you killed people after the active fighting stopped? No, we're not going to say this. This is too straightforward. And I don't know if he wants to tell me this. I don't know. All three of them are actually pretty good. Let's go with this one. I know you want to tell me. Have you killed anyone with that gun in the last week or two?
I don't want to tell you anything, you grotesque murderer.
And why did you think that was a good idea? Don't listen to me. I'm wrong all the time.
Really? Suggestion? Maybe we should never listen to suggestion. That is true. They definitely failed us with talking to Dolores Day. So you're saying you killed people after active fighting stopped?
What did I just say?
What did I just tell you? Don't drop the ball now.
Okay, Rhetoric. Did you use that gun to shoot and kill a colonel of the security contractor? How is he going to know this? He doesn't know who that guy was.
The who now?
He heard you. He just wants to hear you say it. You're in.
Fascist death squad. His name was Lely, a beautiful, strong man. No, let's say it. The corpse in ceramic armor hanging behind the whirling in rags. Did you shoot him?
Oh, yes. That one. Ugly piece of work, that boy.
Did you kill him?
I am a son of a welder and an officer of the commune of Revachol. I do not collaborate with murderers and pederasts of the liberal regime.
A drop of blood in the saliva. Tear into him. Pile it on him. Everything you got on him. The more, the better. The gun. The murder weapon is the perfect opener. The scent of blood in the air. But what else? There was something you can't remember.
I talked to the dead man. He told me communism killed him. That is true. He did say that. Oh my goodness. Let's not get to that one yet. I don't need your cooperation. I've got this.
Not a lot of guns around that use military-grade ammunition, are there?
It's a real gun. Not like your little musketeer pistol. I've seen you prance around with that. Jumping hoops for the liberals. You look like imbeciles. Why don't you ask them to give you real weapons? Going against automatic rifles with these toy guns. Of course you got those boys killed.
Damn, he saw you. He's watched it happen.
Damn, man. But that's a freaking... That's a cold-blooded take right there.
So he saw you. Okay. So what? Don't let it divert you.
Yeah. Stop changing the subject. We have the murder weapon.
You know what? You're right. I'm convinced this made the shot. Should we call it?
I'm calling it. We have the murder weapon.
Good.
This feels good, doesn't it? Tearing things up like this. When you have the murder weapon, you have the killer.
Ooh, can I even open this? I can level it up in Wow, alright. What should we level up here? We're doing well, I think. We've leveled up all of these. Let's get a little bit more shivers. Why not?
Murder.
This pushed him, but not enough. Just a little more.
We've done the ballistics. The shot came from this island.
I saw you poking around there, looking for evidence. You're damn diligent when it comes to dead fascies. Did you like the view?
Ooh, the jitter. Is electrochemistry telling us something? Did he like spying on Klaja?
You had direct visibility. There are embrasures in the concrete, specifically meant for a top follower to use. And you had a long-range rifle in your possession. You have been here a long time, Mr. Dros. Too long. You need medical aid.
I'm ready to die. I've done my part.
The view is perfect. With a pair of binoculars, I could have seen in the room. Will he tell us that he could as well?
Because it's a sniper's nest, you stupid fuck. Radio Gosh is right. You have worms in your brain.
Almost. He almost burst out there. Keep piling arguments. Anything.
You're a communist? I talked to the dead man. He told me communism killed me.
Stupid twat.
The lieutenant looks at you with worry in his eyes. Not this, he seems to say. Anything but this.
I like this. Yes, I held a seance with his soul and has shown me the way, and the way leads to you.
Matter does not behave in such a way. Those are aberrant bourgeois musings. Magic earl creatures. Esoteric theosophy. It's all crypto-fascism. Your brain is rotting from the radio waves.
He does not answer the provocation. It does not look like he thinks this approach worked. Yeah, this just did nothing.
Oh, good old suggestion.
But still, somehow you knew it was a communist.
Is this the miracle?
No, the miracle is still waiting. This is the darkness.
But aren't I way out in the west?
You are. Soon it will happen.
Oh. The miracle. Okay.
Standing there, slack-jawed, brain festering.
Let's see, what are we forgetting?
Wait, here it comes. The goddamn Maybells. The dried Maybells on Clausia's roof.
Oh, yeah.
There were Maybells in the grass when you got here. They're revolutionary symbols from the
The
war.
Maybells. Dude, even I forgot this, and I actually pointed out when we walked up here, the flowers.
Nowhere else, nowhere in all of Martinez have you seen them this spring. Wait, don't forget the footprints. The diagonal prints in the dust in the secret space behind Clausia's bedroom. Now they're gonna come up.
Ow. Of course, thank you, Head.
You got it. Remember? The boot prints were like no modern soul.
So he was creeping around in the whirling.
Maybe don't beat yourself anymore, though. You're not immortal.
Mm-hmm. There were Maybells behind the victim's window.
Damn Maybells. The whole island is turning white with them.
But he left them there for her.
So many this year, too. The spring is coming. No, it's already here. Wash the filth away.
I haven't seen these flowers anywhere else in Martinez. Only here.
They blossom on the islets before. We fertilized them with our blood. Resurrection was snow white in May, before they ruined it.
Is this the island?
South, the Bay of Martinez is dotted with little freckles of islets, turning green, with white flowers in white snow.
The coast, too, before they piled their containers on top of it, filled with broken, useless trash for fat-fingered bourgeois children to play with.
You must get around a lot to stay undetected all these years. Do you know any secret paths? Pinball workshops?
I may.
You may. I wonder what his thoughts about pinball are. Probably the same as the lieutenant's. The lieutenant hated pinball, even though he was a pinball pro. A young woman called Klaja. Ring any bells? These dried flowers were behind her window.
Classier.
You know her, right? She had intimate relations with the victim, the mercenary.
with the victim.
There is a small tremble, looks like a smile, a crooked smile, yet isn't quite voluntary. He's about to burst.
And let's talk about the boots.
Everything is brands with you individualists. Who cares what brand my shoes are? Sansa? Some shit.
Show me the soles, please, Mr. Dros.
Fucking imbecile.
Black and white spiral pattern covers the sole of the worn out old running shoes on his feet. Hey, we're wearing running shoes.
The maker is called Sansariq, and the size is 42 to 44. These are not the unusual horizontal pattern soles you saw in the dust on the floor of the hidden room. They do, however, seem to be about the same size.
The size fits, but not the sole.
Good old drama. Let's see.
Sire, he doesn't have to be wearing them right now.
People change shoes. It doesn't mean you weren't there near the room the victim died in, sneaking around.
Racking those brains, are you? Desperate to report something back to your masters? They must have really loved that dead fuck.
No, they didn't. But if we had found you earlier, we may have averted a frickin' massacre outside of the whirling.
The lieutenant gives you a quick sideways glance and nods to acknowledge. The prints were his. You can see it in those eyes. He can't keep them from flickering, looking for something. The old man stares at his own prints in the ash around the fire. Silent suddenly, some strange process within him. A gush of wind. Seagulls in the distance.
You know who he was. A coalition-trained murderer, armored and armed. He wasn't human. The blunt end of a hammer, dripping with blood.
Yeah. He was a soldier too. He was a man. I mean, we could say the same thing about this deserter here.
Beating us to the ground, moaning with joy. You hounds get so thorough when a company-trained killer dies. I haven't seen you on this coast for 40 years. You know, maybe I should have killed one sooner. Got your attention. Now you stop beating druggies and prostitutes in your basement. Now you come to investigate. Not when they die by the hundreds.
Two options, but we know what he likes. He likes to talk about death.
Oh, the inhumanity. One paramilitary less in Revachol.
Tear out of his eye. His fists begin to tremble from the anger.
The lieutenant raises his right arm to hush you. Hush. He does not need to be pushed anymore. The ball is rolling, while the lieutenant listens, holding his breath.
Alright, I'll hold my breath as well.
I had them in my sights. Both of them. Him and the whore. I was breathing with them, in phase. And I pulled the trigger and flew on the air until I landed in his mouth.
Damn. He really had a lot of empathy in that moment.
I didn't think I had a shot like that in me anymore. I did. I saw him kneel there with his mouth full of death, and that stupid look on his face. And his dick still in her.
There, a hot flash of rage almost carries the smile away. Some dark peace.
Something sexual about it. Interesting. Then what?
Nothing. I went to sleep. Next morning there were Maybells everywhere. The world was white. Or what's left of it, anyway. My last spring here. I knew the fascists would come to avenge their own. And so they did.
And so they did. But it wasn't us. It wasn't us. We tried to stop the vengeance from occurring. We did. A little bit.
Mr. Dros, are you aware you're confessing to murder?
Yes.
Hmm.
And you were looking at them, the victim and a young woman, having sex, through the scope of your rifle that night, before you shot him?
The old man nods.
Why?
Because that's what they were doing.
No. Why did you kill him? What? I mean, they were having sex so many nights. It must have finally gotten to him somehow.
I don't understand. Do you, detective? I don't understand this part.
Why were you looking at them that night?
I'm always looking.
Are you always looking through the scope of a rifle? I'm just trying to understand.
A rifle scope has the best magnification.
To see the sex better.
Helps him see all the shit.
Right.
And if you don't like it,
Click.
If it's part of the shit you see.
then you pull the trigger.
Yes. Think of it as a form of critique.
What specifically did you not like about what you saw the night of the murder?
Them fucking. I didn't like that.
You were jealous?
Jealousy is a reactionary concept. I didn't like the Reaver enjoying himself, drugged out, soothed in the arms of a young woman. I wanted him to die so he could not enjoy life anymore.
But still, I feel like there's a little bit of jealousy there. He's kind of upset that this soldier, similar to him, right? Similar to him, but he gets to live this life of enjoyment of drugs and sex, whereas he's been stuck out here. Like, he was here since he was 15, 16, not being able to enjoy it. You may say it's not jealousy, but there's a little bit of it there. I mean, not saying that Lely was living a wonderful life by any means. It seems like he also had some pretty horrible stuff.
And I wanted to see his head explode. That too. She should know better than to hold a child murderer between her thighs. I knew he'd be there for one more second, writhing.
Yeah. Also, maybe this is misogyny? Hatred of women? Jealousy?
That's all it takes for the bullet to reach his head. Now that I think of it, I wasn't aiming for his mouth. I wanted his brains to spill out on her. But you can't have everything.
Her body sweating from the drugs, slick from cerebral hemorrhage.
Jeez, that would be horrific.
He wants to see her covered in blood.
Ooh.
To punish her.
Yeah, you wanted to punish her, so you killed him.
She practically breastfed that man. You wouldn't believe the things she let him do to her.
Damn. Ugh. This is dark.
You stare at them too. In your mind, her innocence day still turns to leaf. Airport bag in hand. Silks flowing in her wake.
No. I don't want us to be connected to the deserter that way.
See you tomorrow, Harry. Her voice rings in the evening air. Burning.
I'm not gonna say anything. Nope.
The old man raises his gaze. Something glimmers in the corner of his black eye.
How long had you been watching her?
Since she came to Martinez, I saw her sneaking in the reeds early in the morning, behind the Fell building. It was dark, still winter. She didn't have her skimpy outfit on then, just a spot in the night, moving,
Past the Fell building on a ghost? What was she doing there?
hiding something in the water. She had a fag after she'd done it. I was up in the ruins there. She couldn't see me, but I could see her, smoking. She was nervous, but not scared.
Hiding her old identity. I wonder if we could have found it if we searched over there.
And beautiful.
And beautiful. Oh, the beauty. 'Twas beauty that killed the beast.
That, too.
How could you see what she looked like? You said it was dark.
The glow of the cigarette.
The sun came up. Her hair was like cobwebs. She smoked more fags and snorted a line of whatever shit she was on right there. She needed it just to move.
What do you think she hid there?
Her passport and ticket to Riyadh. And from there to Cachet Brut.
In the free state of Seminine, hidden away at the edge of the earth, near the Pale.
Some kind of hidden container on the coast. You looked into it.
Yes, after she'd gone. It was a submersible. Well made, actually.
Sloppy. We should have gotten her to tell us about this. Did you take the documents?
No, I put them back. Why would I take them? I'm not going to film. Oh, I mean...
Did you well, I mean, we know he continued watching her.
I did. She had a face like an archipelago, with those birthmarks. And a body hard and lean and bruised all over. Black and yellow. I could see she's taken a beating.
Like the way he describes her, it's so similar to how Harry describes his Dolores Day. Just thinking about her. The parallels are there. The parallels are there. And yet, somehow, we've been given a second chance. We've come back from the brink. Whereas this man, he was pushed over the edge. I mean, he's probably been on the edge for a long time now.
I could see who she was, too. A spook. On the run. Revachol's the cloaca of capital now. All the bagmen and arms dealers end up here to do drugs and have sex like animals.
All about sex. I thought I was the sex-crazed one.
You could tell she was a spook from the documents?
She had different color hair on the photo, and glasses. Forged. Some sordid bourgeois affair. I heard about this kind of thing on the radio.
How did you see all this? The bruises that she was beaten? He was spying on her. I mean, in the pinball area and through the rifle.
I'm not blind, am I?
Oh, yeah. We know all this. We know all this.
It quickly comes to you.
Bruises on her body. Any chance you've seen them through a hole in the wall?
Oh, yes. Cutting those drugs of hers into little lines with a knife. Masturbating.
Everything in him fills with impossible longing, all at once.
Did you make that hole?
With a clip point knife.
Good for listening in, too. For hearing the moaning and the snorts.
Ever see her through a window on the roof?
Like that, too. Yes. Bending like a bow against the glass.
You've been through the secret route behind the whirling rags. Those are your footprints there. You just changed your shoes.
I've been through all of Martinez. Every nook and cranny.
That too, my good man.
Yes, that too. The things they did in that little room. What she'd do to feel good. Funny the way light works. You turn it on inside, and it gets so dark out, you can't see a man looking in. I learned that in the 20s, when they were still hunting me. I've seen people do some shit, but...
But not her. Not the woman with archipelago birthmarks.
You hear the familiar scribble of the lieutenant's pen. A quick glance at you. One more loose end down. We're doing this, detective.
How did you get in there? The hidden pinball workshop.
I can just walk in there now after a good wash. I told you, they think I'm an antisocial. Closing hour is a good time. The kitchen's empty.
You had to open the steel door in the kitchen? How?
I got that open a long time ago. Some bourgeois game merchant lived there. I don't know, 15 years ago. He left spare keys all over, and I took one. Then I saw her turn the light on one night in my scope.
Oh, and he had to get closer.
Andy found use for it. A spare key, like the one hanging behind the Union Box window.
You had feelings for that woman.
There's nothing to hold on to. Only this. It's not enough.
Ah, yes. He was looking for more out of life.
The coals of his eyes glisten suddenly, like stones dripping with water. Is he crying?
Man needs to feel something else. In this fight, it helps if you have your eye on something there. It's weakness, I know.
Is that why you left the dried flowers behind her window?
No,
Why then?
I don't really know. I was there one night and she was crying, like a child, in the corner of our room on the floor, like she does sometimes. The day after I killed him.
And you brought her Maybells.
Yes, I don't know why I do the things I do anymore.
I mean, probably you wanted to console her. I don't think you wanted to manipulate her.
Maybe. I told you, I have holes in my brain now. I wouldn't just sit here waiting for you.
A sudden pang of rage.
If you came 10 years ago, I would have killed you.
In the silence, the lieutenant draws a line in his notes, then nods at you once more. One more down.
So in conclusion, it wasn't about him. It was about her.
Her.
The lieutenant nods at you in acknowledgement. That's it. Motive. We have it.
Where is she, that Clasier? I haven't seen her there for days.
We'll talk about it. She got away, but she let us hear first. She figured out someone was watching her from the sea fort.
Gone. I knew it. She kept staring into the scope this last week at the island, like she knew.
She did know. If only she had told us earlier.
She'd look at night, crying or smoking on the roof, staring right into me. It doesn't matter.
Midtown, across the Bay of Revachol, the oceanic wind washes 40-story towers. Above them, Lucerne Central Aerodrome, a cocoon suspended in the sky by a web of suspension wiring, encircled by hybrid aircraft.
Is that her? Taking off to wherever her next destination is?
On the platform, a young woman is withdrawing from amphetamines, barbiturates, and alcohol. Yet still, she smiles among the crowd, among the great ghosts of the city she's leaving, for another, far south.
So long, space cowboy.
Smaller, distant, hidden, not like the great chandelier she sees sparkle in the night below her. Streetlights, towers, tenements, and water, and across it, a dark strip of ruins, barely visible, if she didn't squint her eyes. There, on a dilapidated jetty, in a nameless village, 2 police officers and 1 special consultant look across a narrow strip of sea. The ruins of a sea fort stick out of the water, built by Philippe II, reappropriated by the Commune, then lost in the landing. He's there, doing what exactly, I don't know. Satellite Officer Vic Mayer points at the ruins. Behind that anti-aircraft something. That's why we can't see him. Special Consultant Heidelstam is optimistic. We'll see the boat when he comes. Let's go get a coffee until then. I know this interesting little place. Where?
Wait,
His
Trant?
voice trails off as the 3 walk down the jetty.
Trant Heidelstam? Didn't we talk to that dude? Outside of the Feld building?
As the men go, Patrol Officer Minnow looks back over her shoulder at the crumbling fortification like a rotten tooth rising out of the water.
We could get more. We've got him talking.
You could get more out of him. He likes talking.
Oh, good old suggestion.
Enough. Take him in. Bend his arms behind his back and end this.
You know what? We're gonna end the episode here. I see that we're getting quite into it. There's a little bit more that we're gonna ask him about, and we still gotta return back. So, yeah, I mean, it's been a long interrogation, but this is it. This is the climax. We have the man. He confessed to murder. We know the reason why. His jealousy, his lust, his sexual urges, his repression, his love. Could it be love? I don't know. It's hard to say. It's similar to Harry's relationship to Dolores Day. It's complicated. I suppose that's what you could say about this man. And about life. It's complicated, and the reasons that people do things is complicated. This man has a whole history. 43 years leading up to this point. The point where he shot Lely while he was having sex with Claudia. The point where he's spying on her and she's just along the coast. A lot of little things leading to this point. So yeah. Hope you're enjoying this episode. Hope you're enjoying the ending. It's deep. It's dark. It's thought-provoking. And for me, I'm loving it. It's very enjoyable. So yeah, until next time, do remember, as always, to take care of yourself and keep it disco, baby. Keep it disco.